Okay, coming from the great state of California, we're glad that she was able to join us with such a big change in different change in time. But I'm glad that you are here. Thank you so much, Katie McNamara. I'm really enthused to hear your your presentation today. I'm going to let you go on and take it away.
Hi all, welcome. This is Game of Quotes Team Style from me. And those of you that don't know me, I've been teaching EGAD going to 28 years here. I serve at a high school as the teacher librarian there, and I'm also in charge of a teacher librarian credential program and a few other things. Like, let's get going because we only got like 20 minutes. So I did put a note in there to go ahead and grab your book. Oh wait, it says they're still viewing Stacy's screen.
Yeah, can you share your screen? Let's see.
I am sharing it.
There we go.
I'll stop and do. Oh, hi. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
it popped through for
reshare.
just a minute. Yeah, there you go. Try it again.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully I'm back up.
Yes.
All right. And we grabbed our books. There we go. Okay. And I do want to give kudos to you. This is adapted. It's not like mine originally, but the team style is me. But the amazing Heather Marshall tweaked this from a game for education. And so we're going to get into this. So I do want to express gratitude to you all for showing up and embracing your curiosity. And of course to Casey for organizing all of this. And it feels weird, but I think this is important to know about ourselves. I was intentional on embedding this slide because I didn't want to forget. So I think it's real easy to forget those things that are important and meaningful. So yes, a whole slide for gratitude. All right, so we're going to kind of play this a little bit. So as I'm chatting here, you've grabbed a book, whether it's physical, whether it's on a phone or whatever. Prep is index cards. So you got however many index cards you want, and you're going to write prompts on them. And I do get the question, well, can't I just go ahead and do this in a presentation, make it all pretty? Yeah, you can. And not to be snarky, but I'm the kiddos are on the computer so much. So if it doesn't have to be on a computer, I don't put it on a computer. And actually, that's what got me to do this to begin with, because I didn't have internet for 2 weeks. And I was really sick of pivoting all of my lessons. What's a seamless lesson? Oh, joy of reading, digging into books, finding evidence, talking about what you're reading. So that's the reason to that. But if you want to put it on a computer and project, you do you. And being aware of your audience. So each time I do this, the darlings, they let me know how I should change things and what not to do in the future. So being aware of your audience, middle school people, I'm looking at you. If you have a book, no matter how great the book is, I love none of the above. Oh my goodness, do not use that book for this game. So thinking about the content, because the darlings will find the most atrocious sentence to be allowed to speak aloud. And yes, it goes into play well, but do you really want to hear those things? So just thinking about that. Similarly with my prompts, there are some prompts I have retired and will never use again. And I know there might be some confusion, but we're going to do this for real, and it'll make some sense here. Okay, so my setup, again, we got prompts on a card, and I have a list coming up for us. And then there's books at each of the tables where the kiddos come in. And it's real important to have more than what's needed. So if 4 people can sit at a table, have 7 to 8 books there. So there's choices, and it's not like that last person feels they have to be stuck with that book. So just letting them have choices there. I always let them use the book they're currently reading if they want. Otherwise, they can dig into a new book here for us. Game flow, I give them 3-ish minutes to read. And this was interesting. I had an observation while I was doing this once, and my admin was like, wow, you had them read for a long time. I was like, oh my goodness, if we think 3 minutes is a long time, that might be some of our issue with literacy. Oy vey. So 3-ish minutes to read. And I say ish because each group of students operates differently. And it's kind of as long as they're with me and I seem like I'm in control, we're good. But if it at 2.5 minutes, it's starting to seem like I might lose control, then shh, I magically call time. So that's how you can go ahead and manipulate that. So they read, they stop reading, and then I want to come to them like, okay, here, I can go this way, pick a card, any card. And I have them pick the card. And I love when I put the options on the students, because then if they don't like it, guess what? It wasn't my fault. It was their fault. That's what they picked. And I let them go ahead and dig back into what they read for what I got there, 90 seconds. Again, it can be an ish, to find one sentence that will then respond to that prompt. And also what these darlings have taught me is, well, yes, I would love. And I thought this was going to happen my first year teaching because I read my standards. So I thought, because I was an English teacher, okay, so we'll just get to talk about literature all day and then write about it. It'll be fabulous. It didn't take me long to realize, no, we're not ready for that. So piece of paper, they're going to write down their sentence, and then they're going to discuss their sentence that they selected in their group. And you decide how you want to up this. Depending on the group I'm working with, I'll have them use the parenthetical citations too. So we're getting practice with that as well. And at their group, they'll go ahead and decide which sentence they feel is the best. Okay, so let them have time to agree on that. And then I have guest judges. And this is like a great advocacy part, because people are almost constantly walking through the library for whatever reason. And I know the time that's going on. I use my cell phone as my timer constantly. Someone's walking through, admin, counselor, security. I don't care who it is. Like, hey, would you like to be a guest judge? And I feel all good about that. Then it's an opportunity for me to introduce them to the students, as well as for this person to see, oh yes, there's things we do in the library. So all those cool things going on there. I also teach a library science class. So if it's a moment where I don't have people walking through, I'll go ahead and have my students that will go ahead and be the guest judges. Sometimes I have a lot of dual enrollment students that are like one off. So they're in there, and I'll have them go ahead and be a guest judge. Just helps get people more involved. Okay, so I might have like 4 to 5 groups. First and second place gets points. I got a little whiteboard action. We're recording the points. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. And it goes through about 4 rounds in a period. And my periods are 50-ish minutes. And you just always finesse it. Like maybe it's only 3 rounds you do, but you know, that's the power of being able to tell time and adjust this. So we're going to do this super fast style. So you've grabbed your book already because I told you to do so. Oh, you had a whole 10 minutes to get a book. Okay, I'm going to shush for a minute, and we're going to have 30 seconds to read. Setting my timer because I will get going. Okay, open your book where you left off, or you can start from the beginning or start from the middle. I don't care. Just start reading. Enjoy. Okay, time. And if that felt like agony for you, like it did for me, ADHD in the house, that's why it's also really good to make sure you set those timers so that we're really giving an option to our students. So if Casey wants to unmute, I'm just going to go ahead and go through my cards because I'm not picking. Casey's going to pick. Tell me when to stop, and that'll be our card.
Stop.
Ooh, okay. So the prompt is a note sent home from the teacher. So now we're going to go back to the pages you just read and go ahead and just dump in the chat for now. A note sent home from the teacher. So we're going to go back to what we just read, pull one sentence out of there that could answer this prompt. What's something that would be a note sent home from the teacher? And so what's really cool about this is now people are digging back into the text, they're rereading, they're coming back with another purpose. So it goes back through, there's the power of like going back to the text for different reasons. So you might just start reading first for the pleasure, for that basic understanding, and then you go back for this extra level of criticality. While these prompts, these are like fun prompts off the cuff here going on, but they're still like asking us to do this evaluative thinking that is really high. Now, I'm not going to talk about that to the students because they really don't care. They just think they're having a blast, which is great. That's what I want them to think. Okay, I'm seeing some options come in. Okay, so a lot of cool things here. Now, if I was doing this in a virtual class, we could go to breakouts and then they could discuss. That's really like good too, to have that conversation. And then they're like discussing like why they think this quote is better or that one's better. Okay, I'm going to read back here. Or if you want to use your emojis here, guys, to show the ones that you like. Stop screaming, you weenie. Yeah, they had forsaken the world. But I feel like this is the best way to tell the real story. Mickey did not take the bus to basketball today. Oh, tell Jamila what you told me. Annie's going to jail. Ooh. Okay, so I believe she might have been bullied. Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm liking a lot of them. So this is where too you can use your powers as far as being in charge. Sometimes I have a two-way tie for first place. It just happens. I don't know how. It just magically is a thing like that. Oh, psychological warfare. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this can get really, really fun. And again, like we're hitting a bunch of standards and the levels you want to go up with it and getting that parenthetical citation. And that's just the parenthesis with the page number. And even like letting them know like where that period goes. Even my juniors and seniors struggle with that. So they're getting all these really good strategies set up to that even help them when they dig into their research later on. Okay, it's like, yay, lots of cool things. So go ahead and do the points and then just repeat multiple rounds. But each round, the student is writing down that one sentence. And if their sentence is the one that's selected as the winner at that table, then they'll go ahead and put a star by it. And I always tell them it's easy points, which is always true. Now, depending on the teacher I'm working with, it may or may not go into the grade book, but I didn't lie because serial killers lied. I'm not a serial killer. But anyway, so maybe they're heart points, maybe they're gratitude points. So that's my little willy-nilly in there because especially secondary. Oh, is this worth anything? Yes, all kinds of points. Yeah, so all these cool ways we can go ahead and get them involved with this. So yay, multiple rounds. You've got some prompts here. These are ones that have been safe so far. And know your audience. I've had lyrics to a country music song. Well, if your kids don't read or don't listen to country music, that's not going to go over very well. Do we want to do another round? Let me see your time. Okay, we're going to keep talking a little bit.
Yeah, we
and
have
maybe
time.
we'll do another round. Okay, fine. We're going to do another round. Oh, I'm hearing yes. All right, so go back to your book. Okay, and I am going to actually get us off the screen because I don't want you thinking about any of that. See, that's the thing. I don't tell them what their prompt is, haha, because that's what makes them dig back some more. Okay, so reading where you left off, or if you don't like that book, see, this is another reason why you have multiple books, go ahead and grab a different book. Okay, and now I need a shush. 30 seconds, go. Okay, so then whatever table one, that's the table I would go at next to have them go ahead and pick a card. And I know Steve's helping a lot. If he wants to play, can he unmute and tell me when to stop this time? Stop. Okay, we've got what you don't want your grandma to overhear. Something you don't want your grandma to overhear. Okay, go ahead and dump a sentence in the chat. And if you want to one-up it and do parenthetical citation, you go for it. and what you don't want your grandma to overhear. Yeah, so all the teams respond to the same prompt, but each person is responding individually. So that's where that piece of paper comes in. So everyone is going to dig back into their own book, write a sentence down on that piece of paper, responding to the prompt. That in my team, maybe I've got 4 people, we're going to discuss bunch of standards there too, where you have a conversation, a civil conversation. I'll tell you about a time that was not civil. And we're gonna have a civil conversation to decide which one is the best. We're going to go ahead and put forward from the other team. So then there'll be 4 or 5-ish, sentences shared out loud that you will decide which team is first or second. Okay, I woke up in a panic because I was already missing first period. We had a knife. We each had a knife. Wait, okay, it's going fast. Okay, so sorry if you're catching this on the replay. There's lots of cool things, and apologies that I am not saying the person's name who wrote it. That's bad. I'm just saying these really, really fast. I'm not going to marry a man, mama. Oh, that takes me back. Did you know he can't? Wait. An octopus can't give you rabies. Oh, okay. Oh, and we got some parenthetical action going here. Look at this. Okay. And so even too, what's cool with that is now I can individually help people, like if they forgot the parentheses, if sometimes they're still being taught MLA like 6 and we're way past MLA 6. And I've had some English teachers say, well, I just don't want to update myself. Like, oh my gosh, no, we got to teach them the new levels. But yeah, so that's what we do. And depending on the class, sometimes, oh my goodness, they are doing so awesome for me because these are the things that get them happy about school. And one of my evil plans is for them to always like be begging their teacher, when can we go back to the library? Because it's more fun with me than with them, even though I'm hitting their standards for them. So they're having a great time. So at the end of the day or at the end of the period, if I'm really enjoying it, I'll do the math ahead of time. And that's why it's easy to like make sure you're doing first and second place, because sometimes at the end, it was a tie, like all the teams got the same amount of points. They're just all wonderful. Sometimes I'll do a little treasure chest thing for like the team that did win. It just all depends. And it depends how I feel in that moment and whether or not I have enough prizes for everyone. All those different things going on. I saw a couple of questions that were timely. I wanted to try to get that real quick. If you wrote a question and I don't answer it though, you might need to just like copy paste or re-put in because we got some good chat action happening here. So from Kara, do you have the students record the sentence and page number so you can verify it actually was a sentence in the book they come up with? Or in case they came up with something that was outrageous, or if other students challenge them. So I do have them still put their page number in it, but I'm not like checking. And like if they're putting forth that kind of effort to try to cheat, I can notice that before they're writing it. So I am always constantly moving around so I can see who's in the book, who's not, do that different encouragement, but I'm not going to like look at everyone's, but while they're talking, they're in their book still. It's open as they're having a conversation. So it's really kind of easy to monitor that way that, yeah, they are with you and doing what you want. But that means you have that piece of paper. If you don't have that piece of paper, then I've got the some that'll just like, yeah, I'm not reading class either. I'm not going to read this library. No, so that's why that piece of paper, because you're going to do what I want you to do. All right, so we got basic prompt going on and all these different like fun things like, oh, well, the humans are away, the pets will, blah, blah, blah. What will happen? The last librarian is no longer here because like you have all of these fun things. And then other extra ways you can go ahead and connect to curriculum. My 9th graders do Romeo and Juliet. So I made prompts that hit directly to Romeo and Juliet. They were working on characterization and theme. So I created prompts that would help them with that. So these are prompts that do directly and connect with Romeo and Juliet, but they could do this in Romeo and Juliet, or blah, 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 blah. They can also still do this in their own books. And we also have standards about finding themes across various media. various books. So there's all of that going on there too. So you can totally like use these. If you want help making up prompts for another book, I will totally do that too. And it doesn't have to just stay with fiction. We can do this in nonfiction land. We can totally do this with textbooks too. Like how fun would that be to like have these kind of prompts that connect with the textbook to bring like, I don't know, mitosis alive in science class. And then once you've got these, you can pretty much recycle them. So I can use these same cards over and over again, and it's always going to be different because we're in a different book or we're at a different point of the book. And then my teachers can go ahead and take this back. There's some different variations. I like to introduce it as a whole period activity. So we go through a few rounds, but they can use this in the classroom as just a quick start. Maybe they only do one round. I've had some teachers that took it and they'll do one round a day, but they'll keep track of the points Monday through Friday and then see what team is at the top on Friday and whatever extra reward they want to do then. So all these different ways you can go ahead and do different adaptations. Oh my goodness, when the students create prompts, and again, like don't just use them, always read. Read the stuff first, please, before you go ahead and do it with them. Students ask for this activity a lot. So do the teachers. I think we talked about this. Oh, what I didn't tell you was about my conversation that wound up not being quite so civil. I want to share that story, right? Because you guys want to know the salacious details. I don't know. Maybe you don't. I'll just click next. It's okay. All right. So there has never been a fight in my library, but because of this game, there was almost a fight because this girl was so excited about her evidence and so positive that her evidence was actually the best. And she should have got points for first for her team instead of only second for her teams and was standing up. And I was like, oh my gosh, are we really going to have a fight here? And I was like, how do I rate that up? The student was overly excited about finding evidence in her book. Like, where did we get there? But like, yeah, it was nice to like care about reading and what we're doing in there. So when I talked about the guest judges, another cool thing is it eliminates the students arguing with you. So anytime I can put something on someone else that's a decision-y like that a student would try to be combative, I'm always for it. Any choice, they're making the choice. Deciding first and second, it's someone else doing it. All these different little reasons of why and how you can go ahead and bring in someone else and like they're learning. So I want to get that across to you. Like you can totally have fun and learn, totally have fun and hit all of these different standards. Oh, Brittany, thank you. Yeah, I had some people, Brittany's mentioning this was in a podcast I did with Steve. And after that podcast, I felt so bad because I was trying to explain it. And I had so many people reach out to me like, no, I need to see this. I need to do it. So we did 2 quick rounds, but it's just, yeah, a different way to go forward with it. Okay, a question here from Krista. Do you think this could be used as beginning of the year library orientation? Okay, I'm wrapping my head around that. With what you want them to know about library orientation, I would say no. We might do it. I like doing escape rooms to go ahead and get them thinking, but I do think it would be really good to do early in the year to show learning. And like a lot of people do speed dating, or wait, littles don't call it speed dating. It's called something else. Sorry, my brain's not there right now, but you know what I'm talking about. So after you go ahead and do that, then doing something like this to get them back. Yeah, thank you. Book tasting. I'm horrible. I talk about the swiping left on the books and all this stuff. You take them home, but maybe you don't marry them. But I'm secondary, so I can get away with that stuff. But then, yeah, having this done later on helps them get back into those books and then follow up with a concept of the joy of reading so they can kind of see different books and get a different exposure, especially if someone didn't totally love the book tasting. This is another element to go ahead and get them into it. And building that reading stamina, I talked about that 3 minutes being an issue for one of my admin. And it was like, we do really need to work on that. So I want to hit that home too. Yes, if I'm doing a bunch of rounds, I don't want to give them a long time, but we do need to build in ways that we're going to help our students sit with a book or stand, you know, if they want to, but to be in a book and to get kind of lost in there for more than just 2 minutes. All these bits of like fast information, like it's helpful, but that's not the end all be all. We need to be able to sit with things for a while. Even when it's fiction, like there's some really great concepts that I just finished this book. I'm in Iowa visiting my son right now, Ride or Die. And there were so many awesome things in here and the connections that I had talking about second tier friends. And I have second tier work colleagues, and we're thinking about that a lot with one of my first tier colleagues. It's just kind of neat to be able to like have some time with these people and I don't know, get warm and cozy a little bit and being able to like have opportunities where we can do that for our students, regardless of their age, that's helpful for them as well. And like talked about mini standards. You guys are experts in here. You know, it's a million standards. Check, 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 check. We got all this. We can do it in all the subjects. And because you're having a game and prizes and yay, it's just another way to celebrate. And I think we all need to celebrate more. You guys are doing wonderful things all the time. Do you take a moment to bask in it? Like, because you are pretty friggin' amazing. And it's true because I said it and I'm a librarian. That means I know things. All right, darlings, if you want to reach out to me for any way, shape, or form with this idea or some of those couple other things I mentioned, totally. I love helping other people. I really do. They're actually like doing something for me. If you ask me for help, I would love to hear successes as well. And yay, I think I'm good. Oh yeah, I'm good on time. Questions, if I missed them, go ahead and dump them in there again, dears, and I'll try to answer those. Oh, thank you.
Let's give it up for Katie McNamara. Give her some love in the chat. That was excellent. Gave me an idea to work with my middle schoolers.
It is so fun, and they get so excited.
Well, thank you once again. And like all the other presenters, Katie will have some resources on that one pager that we plan on having available for everyone on the 29th of July.